Alright, everybody, I have a treat for you. Let me tell you. I have a replay that came to me via the subreddit Castit, presumably from one of the TL admins, I believe it is. I have a match for you between Dignitas.SelecT, the Red Terran spawning in the bottom right corner, and his opponent, Liquid Zenio, who apparently my starboard has him as green, but okay. Spawning in the top left corner, he is the Blue Zerg. This actually happened on the Korean server, so I actually have no idea what they're saying. But the game has begun. I'm actually really excited to be casting this game. It's one of the few games I've been able to cast with pro-level players, and the subreddit Castit has been excellent lately. I don't know what happened, but something gave a giant surge to it. And me being a Castit hipster, if you look at some of my old videos, I've been there forever. I'm happy it's picking up, and I'm glad that we're getting replays of this caliber to cast. So we have SelecT doing his very standard wall in, so we're not going to see any wacky sort of proxy racks or any sort of pressure builds like that. So he's going to go with the standard rack supply depot wall in. We have Liquid Zenio just joining up, and it looks like he is going to be sending that over. I think that's going to be a hatchery, but it may be a drone scout. Nope, just judging by where he's clicking, that is going to be a hatchery. So we're going to see a 15 hatch from Zenio, and just your standard wall from SelecT. I'm actually huge fans of both these players. I play Terran myself, so I find SelecT very inspirational in much of his play. So I definitely enjoy watching him play his games, and Zenio is just an all-around great player, and he's in Code S, and I actually haven't seen if he moved on yet. Don't ruin it, because I'm going to be watching the VODs this week. So I hope he does move on, because I'm a fan of anyone in Liquid. They're all great players. So we have the SCV Scout, going up and checking out what's going on. He presumably sees the hatch, but he is going to go right into the main and figure out what the hell is going on. We do have gas and a pool going, so nothing out of the ordinary yet, just pretty standard run-of-the-mill build for both of these players. Looks like SelecT has one gas. He's not taking a second gas. He is producing Marines, and they are rallied out on the map, so we may see a bunker play coming up very soon. It looks like he wants to do it in the mineral line. Nope. Where is he going to do that with the Marine? Nope. Actually, no bunker. The Marine is at the Zelnaga Tower, so we are not going to see a heavy bunker play, so just excuse that while I change Zenio's color. That was actually really annoying me. So we have Marines just kind of wandering around the map, looking to see what's going on. The pool has completed for Zenio, and he should be getting just enough gas, and it looks like he's actually still mining. Nope, he is done mining gas. So he's only getting enough gas for speed, so he's not going to go into any sort of roach or baneling sort of play. We do have his lings going out on the map. They are each going to the Zelnaga Tower. With this, there's an SCV and nothing there, so he's going to be able to take both of the watchtowers very easily. And SelecT is starting his command center on the low ground, and he is getting out reactored Hellions. So he is going to take some map control with these Hellions, and he's going to hope to do a little bit of damage. Presumably, he's really just kind of looking to stop the creep spread and just gain map control, get his expansion down, and so he has an opportunity to tech up. But he may try and sneak in, get a little bit of drone kills, and if he finds a way in, he may go right into the main and try and kill some drones there. So let's see, he does have his first two Hellions out on the map, and it looks like they are going right now to just gain control of the Zelnaga Towers, so he has full vision of the map. He's taking as much map vision away from the Zerg as possible, so both of those Zerglings do go down. So get the unit tabs up so you can see what is going on. And actually, Zenio only has a 3-drone lead, so no spine crawlers up, which is very interesting. So he's going to have to rely on his queens and lings to hold these Hellions at bay. But right now, he's doing a good enough job at throwing. Oh, he gets an excellent surround on the first Hellion, and we will see. The second Hellion looks like it is going to get away, and two of his other friends are coming up. So that is going to be able to do a good amount of damage, but Zenio, and he is pulling back now. So that was excellent push-off. I mean, he definitely pushed those off, and Zenio is actually dropping some creep over here. Presumably he's creeping his way to his third base so he can get that up, and the Hellions are working their way back in. They are going to take care of that creep tumor. as well as just harass the queen. They're not looking to really kill the queen, but they are definitely going to get some good harass in. And they're just going to go back home. While that has been happening, SelecT is getting blue flame. He is producing. He moved the barracks back to his reactor, and 2 more barracks are coming up. So it looks like he's going to go back into a standard, at least marine play, and the Hellions are getting some action. 2 of them get surrounded and knocked down. So Zenio is actually doing a very, very good job holding this for having no spine crawlers up at this point. So he's done an excellent job thwarting that. I don't think he's gotten any drones. 2 drones, but presumably one of those is from the drone scout, and maybe he killed off 1 drone. So very, very good hold by Zenio. We do have the 2 supply depots coming up at the natural to get a wall off, so there are no more Zergling run-bys. That's actually almost a Protoss style wall, using the command center as part of the wall. And the barracks here, bunker here, is going to do some excellent damage. He's moving. He's gotten blue flame, so he's moving his reactor, his factory back to his reactor. So he's going to pump up more Hellions. He is getting stim, so it looks like he's not going to go into any tank production. He's going to be basically Marine Hellion, which is an excellent build. I've actually never seen it done, but it seems like it will be pretty effective. We do have the 3rd coming up for Zenio, and that's why he wanted to get that creep over there. And the queen is just pushing off those Hellions, so he's able to spread more creep. And we do have a Spire coming up, so it looks like he is going to go into Mutalisk production. We also do have a macro hatch coming up. So this Hellion is just kind of patrolling around the map, not doing anything super aggressive. He's actually letting him Zenio spread some creep, which is interesting. He could probably get in and kill these creep tumors off pretty easy. We do have more Hellions coming up. He may just be... see what we can do, and there he goes. He's going to go for the creep tumors, and the queen's going to come down in a whole bunch of lings. He does have blue flame, so he's going to be able to kill those lings very quickly, so those lings are going to want to get away. I love that trick. What he does is he targets one of his Hellions once the creep tumor scan is over, and all the Hellions attack do a little bit of damage to the other Hellion, but in the process they kill that creep tumor. So it's excellent. Well, we do have a little changeling there, but it looks like SelecT has not... there he goes. He gets the changeling right there. We do have a push coming out, and that Overlord kill actually supply blocks Zenio, which is very interesting. So we have a pretty decent push coming out. Do we have any Banelings on the map? We have 4. Really just 4 good defensive Banelings, and we have 5 Mutalisks moving out. So those Mutas are going to be able to do some damage, but the Marines are coming in. They do have Stim and... actually, they don't have Stim yet. Stim is about to finish. Okay. So they are going to have Stim and Combat Shield. So they are going to be beefy. So they are going to be able to do a very, very good damage against the Mutalisks. I assume we are going to see some Baneling started here very soon for Zenio. But it looks like nothing yet. So he's just using those Marines to kill creep with the Hellions. And he's going to push in and try and do a good amount of damage. Here come the Lings and the Banelings, and the Mutas. He's actually going to try and get a decent flank, but a whole bunch of Lings just die there with that volley. SelecT is going to try and target down the Baneling, so they do less damage. He gets 1. It looks like he got 2 or 3 there, but a couple of them did hit. And there we go. All of the Banelings are cleared up, and it looks like all the Lings are cleared up too. So he's going to be able to try and get a good amount of damage done. A whole bunch more Banelings are in production. It looks like there's 5 right now, but there were a couple more on the map. I guess not. Let's see if those Baneling hits are good. Marines are in an excellent position. Those Baneling hits are pretty good, and he's going to be able to clean this up. The Marines were in good position against Lings, but they were too clumped up for the Banelings. In the process of that push, SelecT has taken his 3rd. He is massing more Marines. He is getting siege mode, so he's now going into tank production. He has stopped Hellion production now, so he does have 2 factories and 5 barracks, 3 of which have reactors, and 1 of which has a tech lab, which I really just assume is to get the upgrade, so we may see that move to a reactor fairly soon. So we are at the point where it's 3 base versus 3 base. Only 6 to 7 Mutas, so those Marines are going to be able to deal with those mutas very easily. The supplies are actually very even right now, so there's not a huge difference in the supply. Has Lair been started? It has not. Baneling speed is just beginning, so that is actually going to be a huge difference once that Baneling speed completes. And Zenio is trying to spread his creep across the map to get some good creep spread. So right now we're just kind of in a lull in the game. The mutas are going to come in and try and do as much harassment as possible, while the players just kind of tech up, get to their supplies where they want. That factory goes down. He didn't force a stim on SelecT, which is very interesting. He is going to take some muta damage here. He has lost 2 already, but he is going to clean up these turrets, and it looks like he lost 3 mutas for 2 turrets. And he's going to take another turret, so he is trying to clear out those turrets. No repair from SelecT, but he's trading basically a muta for a turret, which is pretty interesting. And it looks like SelecT is pushing out, and that is why he is letting the mutas just sit there and do damage. So he's going to try and push out. We also do have a counterattack at the main. So it looks like, in terms of workers, excellent Baneling hits. Decent split, but good amount of Marines do get taken out. He's going to try and get in and do as much damage as the second is, but there is a lot of Banelings. The Marines are pretty well spread out, but I think he's just going to be able to Nope, I am terribly incorrect. The split made a huge difference, but actually, both have lost 24 workers, so it's not a huge difference. In terms of workers, right now, we have 38 to 51, so Zenio is ahead in workers. And he does have this third base, which has not been touched the entire game. I'm not sure SelecT even knows that. No, SelecT has no idea that base exists. So he took a ton of damage here. He is down 20 workers at this point. He's going to try and get a whole bunch of Marines going again. He is pushing back out. And he is about 25 supply, 20 supply down. So he's not in great shape, but this isn't out of the game yet. I mean, he can by all means say his armies are about the same because of the worker differential. So he's just going to try and siege up and see what damage he can get done. I'm still not sure he actually knows about that third, though. And here comes another engagement, and all the Marines are clumped up. So the Banelings are going to get some excellent hits there, and this finally will clean up all of SelecT's units. Those Baneling hits were so good. Those Marines were just perfectly clumped up for the Banelings. So right now, their supplies are still about the same distance, so not a huge difference. We do have the mutas on their way into the main, and they're going to see what damage they can do. They did clear up a lot of the turrets earlier, so they're just going to attack some barracks and see what they can do. We do have a bunch of Lings getting out, just kind of see what's going on, but they are going to run by a whole bunch of Marines and tanks and get cleaned up very easily. In terms of upgrades, we have SelecT at 1-1, and Zenio is at 2-1. So Zenio does have a slight advantage in the upgrade category. He is still getting in there with these mutas, doing a good amount of damage. He is losing a lot to these turrets, though. And we do have a Ling counterattack while SelecT is pushing out at the third. And these Lings are going to be able to do a good amount of damage, but that excellent hold position micros around that bunker so that it can't do enough damage. So SelecT has finally found the third, and he is going to clear this third up. There isn't a lot here. He's going to get a ton of drone kills over in this corner here, and the tanks are just going to sit pretty and destroy this extractor, as presumably the Marines are going to come back, but Zenio is trying to come back through his own rocks to get in, but that's going to be plenty of time for SelecT to try and destroy this hatchery, but a whole bunch of Lings come in from the flank and clean up those Marines. From the flank? Yes, they did come in from the flank, or they were just created there. SelecT still does have a stronghold on this hatchery, and he has actually caught up in supply. He is leading in supply by 10, so he has done some excellent engagements here. There was a little Baneling detonation here, took out a couple Marines, and that's a whole bunch of creep tumors. And SelecT is pushing in with 3 Marines. He just kind of stemmed them ahead, see what was up, and there's a whole bunch of mutas versus Marines, and those mutas are going to melt. But an excellent Baneling hit just clears up all of those Marines. Wow, Zenio's Baneling hits have been so good this game. SelecT is not upgrading anymore, which is interesting. Neither is Zenio. Actually, he is getting Carapace. But Marines at 1-1 do a good amount of damage, but the Lings are at 2-2, 2-1, and soon to be now 2-2, so they're going to do more damage. The Mutas and the Lings are coming in and trying to kill all of those Marines. We are not seeing any sort of Broodlord transition anytime soon from Zenio. He is not even getting his Hive. He is staying on 3 bases. This has been an action-packed game just on 3 bases. Back and forth in terms of workers. Zenio is up by 20, but the mules do make a huge difference. Select is messing up a whole bunch more units for another attack. He has no Medivacs, which is actually really interesting. That's kind of unfortunate, because with those stims, he's doing more and more and more damage to himself, which is not healing up. He really needs to deal with that. We do have more Lings and Banelings and a couple of Mutas coming in, taking out that bunker so quickly, but Select does react quickly and does get back. But then we have another counterattack at the 3rd, so Zenio is basically trying to flank Select and try and get it 2-pronged attacks at every position, trying to keep him completely off guard. We do have a whole bunch of Lings and Banelings morphing right here, and they are going to go right for this juicy set of mules, and they're going to be able to do so much damage. Select does react very quickly and does get them away, and actually he is not able to connect with those Banelings, but he is going to try and harass that main down, and I assume we're going to see this force now make an attack on the 3rd now that Select has pulled back. Zenio has finally taken his 4th. And he is taking his 5th now. So he is going to be up by 2 bases. Select is pushing out, and he is still only at 1-1. His tanks are at 0-0. And Zenio, I believe, is still at 2-2. Yes, he is at 2-2, and it doesn't look like he is going to get any time soon. He is getting Flyer Carapace level 2, so his Mutas are going to start getting more and more beefy, especially against these only 1-1 Marines. So we do have an engagement right here. All of the Lings are streaming in from every possible side. The Baneling hits are pretty good, but a pretty decent split from Select, but that looks like it's still going to clean up everything regardless. We do have more units coming in from Select here, but they are just going to get chased down and cleaned up pretty easy. And he is going to see the command center, but those tank hits are pretty good, but he doesn't have any Marines to guard those tanks. There he goes. The Marines are coming up. I actually think, no, that may have been enough Mutas, especially with the upgrades, to get in there, but we do have a whole bunch more Banelings morphing, as you heard. Select has taken his 4th. We'll see how long that lasts, because Zenio is putting constant pressure on him. Putting a sensor tower up, but unfortunately he is going to see that those units are right there ready. We have a whole bunch more Lings streaming down the map, so we are going to see a attack over here, as well as attack at the 3rd, but that gets cleaned up pretty well by the tanks and Marines there. But these Lings are going to come in, they're going to try and do a ton of damage, trying to clean up the last of the SCVs here, but there is a bunker here, so that is going to be able to clear up all of those Marines. I'm sorry, the Lings. We do have the Mutas coming in, trying to harass the 4th, but there are towers up, so it's going to be a little bit harder for them to get in, but there are only 2 towers, so if he's willing to sacrifice more units, he will be able to clear that up and do a ton of damage to those SCVs. Zenio is just kind of hanging out at the Zelnaga tower, just biding its time. We do have Mutas coming around to the left side of the map, and the Lings are hanging out there. Zenio has done an excellent job just keeping Select in his base. He really hasn't been able to get out of his base in a solid 3 or 4 minutes, if not longer. The sensor tower is up, so Zenio is going to pull back, and he is going to engage right into the turrets here. He does have enough Mutas to take that out, but unfortunately there aren't many SCVs here, so this isn't a huge win, but he is going to try and take out the command center, which will cut down the mules, and the Marines stim in, doing more damage to themselves without medevacs. Then the Mutas get out unscathed. So we have a whole bunch of mule drops here. More Mutas are grouping up in terms of units. Finally, Select is getting upgrades. He is going to 3-2. We do have Marines getting here, and there are just so many mutas, so that is going to clear it up. We're up to 29 Mutalisks, 88 Zerglings, only 4 Banelings, and 1 Thor. I mean, 1 Thor will do a good amount of damage if those get clumped, but just 1 magic box will take out that Thor so quickly. In terms of workers, 81 for Zenio. I assume he is going to stop there. He may consider starting to drop a whole bunch of depots, and that is so many Mutalisks. That Thor just melted, and all the Marines come streaming in, but they can't stim. They are just about an inch of their life. So his Select's choice not to get medevacs this game has been terrible. We do have more links coming in at the natural. It is going to finally take out that bunker. There is 1 Thor there, but if the Lings do get a surround on that Thor, it will go down quickly, but the Marines do come back. And again, we have another attack at both the natural and, the third and the fourth. The fourth, all of those SCVs are going to get scared away with all of those mutas. The attack at the third was cleaned up. A whole bunch of Lings, but these mutas are going to come in. They're actually just going to engage because of the upgrades, and Select actually has a whole bunch of Marines doing nothing right here, but he is forcing more and more and more stims, and there are no medevacs to do anything about that, so the Marines are getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and they are just going to all drop to these Mutalisks. Mutalisks are weak, but they will heal up. This 1 Thor is going to be able to do a good amount of damage if there isn't magic boxed, but it looks like he is. And the supply is very, very different now. It looks like Zenio is up by 100 supply, so he's just going to keep streaming units in, and he is going to try and do as much damage as possible. A whole bunch of Banelings running in. They're going to go right through all these units, and there is the GG. So, that was holy shit an action-packed match. Thank you, everyone, for checking it out. I'm glad I could cast it for everyone. I hope to get more top-tier games, pro-caliber games from Team Liquid on Castit, as well as other players and other teams. But thank you very much for Treehugger on Reddit for giving this game to me. I look forward to casting more games, and thank you for watching.